Welcome back, guys. Glad to see you guys back on the stream. We are back for a flight from Portland to Winnipeg. We're gonna complete our layover flight, which was quite the layover. All the passengers that were on this flight that was supposed to go to Winnipeg from Los Angeles, yeah, they had to all get hotel rooms. Unfortunately, no, we're not forking up that money. So we got our aircraft here in Portland, cold and dark. And we're gonna get our jetway connected here. Our power, our catering. And on our external power, our smoking sign. That's automatic. Could you imagine? The parents always smoking. Can you imagine, like, being stuck in a tiny airplane with everyone in there? Got our now logo lights on there. My second co-pilot needs to do that editing. So if you guys saw that, yes. My co-pilot can open the doors by themselves and work. They have like this magic that's unbelievable. Alright, so we're gonna come over to our second monitor here, and we're gonna come to our sim brief. So we're gonna start up a whole new flight plan here. So we're gonna do our actually, no, we should probably just actually do our load this one up here. So we are going to be using live time, live weather, live traffic. I am using the AIG live traffic, which if you guys have noticed and you guys don't have the AIG live traffic, I would honestly highly recommend spending the night to download, install, verify all the textures, because it just literally adds to the realism. We got Southwest, and yes, when the aircraft do arrive, or you guys my other screen. I'll show you guys. So we're not going to set the runways yet. We'll come back to that. I'm not sure what runway we're going to be starting from. From the looks of it, we are going to be 10 right from the live traffic in us. We're going to be cruising at an altitude of 37,000 feet today. We actually have more passengers on board today than we did yesterday. So our manifest says we have 162 passengers. Back from out west, back east. So it looks like we'll be doing the. I'll have to look up this wave. Back to our cockpit. We're going to load up our Navigraph charts here, and we're actually just going to type in wave BG, because I just honestly not fan use abbreviations. Apple. Battleground is what I hate. I don't like the abbreviation. because if you don't follow up, sometimes you may have like, depending on how obviously are your system servers, you could have a bunch of these abbreviations of like BTG and RBG, and it just puts the whole name. The pilots already have it in place. I have to all of a sudden go and look at. Because there's been many times I've asked him where I'll have all the waypoints and I'll have RBG, etc., and the ATC controller will be like, proceed direct Red Bluff, actually, for example, Red Bluff, RBF, and I get all like puzzled with RBF, or gosh, where's Red? And it's like, oh, boy, like, I already have it. RBF. Enough about that. So it's Battleground, so that's good to know. Come back to our second monitor here. So Battleground. So we're gonna keep our runway at 10 right. Because that's what air seems to be using. That guy came in 10 right. This guy's taxiing at 10 right. So, and this guy just landed 10 left. So I'm gonna say 10 right is our departure runway. Keep that. Okay, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna leave that. Fuel factor, factor 8. I'm gonna generate that. Now that we have generated our flight, also too, this is kind of a little bit of an informational kind of thing. I don't do everything by the book. I don't know everything by the book. I'm not any sort of pilot by any means. But I try to make things as realistic as possible. I've looked into a lot of things. I've played FFX over a decade. But I'm always learning new things. So if I can help you guys with any new things that you're having a challenge with, that is ultimately my goal. I'm ultimately having a good time. It's really stressed up. Why if I can do this at work for a long day in general, or you're away from the system, you can't play placement, or you can't play games you want them. You know, have to watch it. Also, we are open for any conversation, free of hate, judgment. So if you just want to pop in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from and what's been going on, and feel free to do so. Now that we generated our flight plan in the week, we're going to come in, we're going to start immediately loading up the passengers. We're going to that way connect there. The time comes to this, finding the IRS. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Cool. My pad on here. I don't turn the APU on until just before our passengers have fully boarded. APU on. I don't actually power a generator all plugged in. So you know, if we can feed power from someone else, not have the APU on and use air from aircraft. Then I am gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna actually switch it. I'm gonna try to do this entire flight from the co-pilot side. And yes, this is throwing me off right now. Completely throwing me off. The constraints. Maybe what we'll do is takeoff's fairly simple from, I would say, takeoff's one of the easier things. Other than obviously cruise altitude, etc. But we'll do the takeoff from the first captain side, and then we're gonna do the landing from the first officer side. That's gonna be, I think they're gonna be completely true. But that's still quite a ways. So we got about a 3-hour flight time. It's gonna be quite the haunt. But good. Let's go. All that stuff on there. We got our passengers loading up. We got a catering service at the back here for the Delta Airlines. Oh, so what I was also saying before, guys. We actually got a guy here pushing back online traffic. UPS. You can tell it's online traffic or real players because they actually have the pushback tugs. If you'll see with if you're using like any live traffic, AIG traffic, these planes here with the nose gear, when they go to push back, their nose gear appears, as you can see here. The nose gear just appeared, but they'll push back with no tug, and they definitely don't push back that far. So that's definitely another guy there with us. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But last time I remember, I didn't think the AIG traffic pushed out with... Okay, that is definitely an AIG traffic. Why is it UPS? Oh. Did things change on me, guys? Is the AIG traffic that's live pushing back from the gate using the actual like pushback tugs now? Oh, they are. No way. Okay, before, guys, this might have been just on my side, but they were just going back by themselves. Like literally, like they just put their reverse stuff on. They're just going back. Okay, so we're gonna call our catering away. We're gonna get our baggage. We're gonna get our pushback, and we're gonna get our FMC. Everything else all set up here. You guys know I'm not using Addons. I will be doing Addons every time, or Addons flights every now and then. But it's hard to follow controllers online, offline, and I don't know, guys. It's just one of those things that I find it more stressful trying to follow controllers. Because you do it every now and then. like when I have a lot of time on my hands, I have nothing else to worry about. I can sit for hours, do like a 2-hour flight, have Senator and approach and all that stuff. But it's a lot of planning, looking at the time, seeing what controllers are online, offline. You may plan like, oh, I'm gonna do an LAX to Vancouver, like the traffic for ATC complex. You appear at the gate, start getting your aircraft ready, and they're offline. So just kind of just makes it like one of those things that you plan and you dedicate so much time for around ATC, but ATC just maybe okay, well, you know what? Like, I don't blame them. They've gone for hours, but late. They just want to sign off. You know, I just sign off too. So like, I don't do it, but it's just hard as actual ATC students to rely on. So, you know, if I'm doing a low flight and I see that, you know, ATC is on, feeling at the top of ATC, not going up on ATC, and being by the book, then it's not going to be great. The number one thing that matters is that I'm having a good time. If I'm not having a good time, you guys are definitely not having a good time. So, I know, guys, my audio does not sound the greatest. Please bear with me, because an update or an upgrade may be coming one day, but at this point in time, it's not planned. So we got our pre-planned pushback here. And we're going to turn our path on. Oh crap, we're already at 100 total passengers. Alright, so we're gonna have flaps 1, and we're gonna do a flex takeoff. We're not going to full throttle takeoff today, we're just gonna do a 45-degree flex test. Once we get our passengers fully on board, we'll get our E-speeds. We'll do our inert request. So we'll be doing our Portland to Winnipeg today. Our IRS is aligned. Go back to our first, for our inner. We go to our fuel page. We'll load up our brief flight plan here on our flight pad, and according to our OFP, our block fuel will be 9,156 kilograms of fuel on board today. So we'll load up 9,200 kilograms, because I always like to overboard people. You guys watch Pilot Mentor. I was actually watching a video today of pilots that were distracted on the hot tub and overflew Minneapolis International for like an hour because they were distracted. And they were getting e-card messages from their company and oh man, could you imagine, like, it's like when you get called to the office at work and you're like, we need to talk to you. Like, the whole drive there is just like, so we'll go 9.2 for our block fuel today. And once we get our passengers on board, we'll get our zero fuel weight and our zero fuel weight center of gravity. Get that loaded up. We'll go to our next phase at this point in time. And we'll get our approach info, our ATIS info. It's not really the ATIS info, it's just like what the current is right now. I always just use this, guys. If I am airborne and I check this, things have usually changed. Let's say this has gone up to like 20 knots, like maybe even like gone up 5 knots, and this has changed like drastically. I'll change it in my FMC here, but other than that, I just use this. I knew Winnipeg, actually, you know what, guys? We might be coming in for quite the entertainment here in Winnipeg. They actually just got, or are currently, getting a massive winter storm. So, yeah, there might be a lot of stuff. I'm going to be right back, guys. I apologies. I'm sure we're probably already loaded up with our passwords. I don't even probably have to check those. No? Okay, yeah, we are. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our BC 141, 52, rotate at 137, and a V1 at 136. Do our inner, and we're gonna get our 0 fuel weight, center of gravity. And we're gonna do our flight plan, so we're gonna be doing KPDX departure from 10 right. So if you guys watched the stream from last night, we actually came in on runway 10 right from LAX. We had actually a spotter landing. We had some weather. We had a little bit of rain, light winds. But other than that, it was pretty butter. A little bit late from the touchdown zone, but okay, so we're gonna come to our Navigraph charts here, guys, because we're not feeling. I thought it was supposed to be battleground, but that doesn't really seem to be what it is. Be doing the Portland 2 departure, and our first waypoint will be battleground. Okay, so it's just straight out departure to our first waypoint. There we go. Got our port. Alright, I'm gonna have to come back to. I'm getting really confused here, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to step back. Portland. So we're not going to go BTG. Yeah, we do 10 right. I'm not going. So what it wants us to do is go north, direct north to BTG after taking off. So, but what I'll do is I'm just gonna go. Okay, guys. I don't know. I'm so confused. So I'm gonna do the Portland 2 departure here. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna take away. We're gonna go direct Kilo Sierra 1 Kilo. Yeah. That's what it wants us to do. still, it doesn't make sense for our routing just to waste the fuel. Okay, got everything set. I hate rushing. I know I always seem to miss something, but so actually, one thing I do want to check actually is our top percent. One thing I forgot. We're going to type in our final destination of Winnipeg. Approach. Our top percent. Star. It was everything I feel like is like it's not right on these light plates. Okay, am I sorry? I am wrong. So it's this one here. Our first constraint is defense. Our speed constraint is 250 knots. I'm not sure of our run speed yet. We don't have our Addons. So 11.5. I'd say anywhere from 11 to 10 is okay for this. So we want to be at around, yeah, I would say 11 or 10,000 feet. Probably 10 or 11. So 11,000 feet by Baffin. So that will get our distance. And what we're going to do for our top of descent, we're going to go to our departure info here. We're going to set a reference fix for defense, Baffin, however you want to pronounce it, good pronunciation. But we're going to set a radius circle of 95 nautical miles. So what that will do on our MCD here is, actually, we can actually show you here. So we go to our flight plan route here. We go to our flight plan. We go to left one. We don't have loaded up because we actually haven't done our arrival yet. But let's say we're doing, I don't know, 3-1. ILS 31 Yankee. 4 on that. We've been YBR for Yankee Bravo Romeo. Clear. So if we actually now go down to so there's the radius circle there. So it's actually about 20 nautical miles from Yankee Bravo. And this is another example, guys, of the abbreviations. I have no idea what Yankee Bravo Romeo abbreviation is. So if the controller said like go direct, like I think actually that's Cranbrook. But if they were like saying direct Cranbrook, I would have no idea that that's YBR waypoint numbers. I'd be like, I don't have Cranbrook waypoint set. But yeah, so that's our radius circle there. So that's where we're gonna start our top descent. And that is 95 nautical miles from the Baffin waypoint. We'll set this back to our arc. We're going to turn our APU on because I should have probably already done that. And I'm surprised today it actually didn't go. Usually it will start doing my pushback. Set our seatbelt. We're gonna welcome our passengers on board today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain speaking on behalf of the entire crew. I'd like to welcome you on board. Sit back, relax, enjoy the service, and thanks for having chosen our town. Mesdames et messieurs, votre commandant. Alors, détendez-vous, je vous souhaite à tous un très bon moment. Once again,
So, I always try to do the whole setting up the aircraft as fast as I can. And I try to be as realistic and set up as many things as I know. And you know it's not 100%, guys. You know, it's crazy. I do what I know. I learn every single time I play. I learn from other people. So, slowly get to the point where, now I'm happy with what I do know. And I don't want to be cocky. I don't want to be one of those people who are like, well, do you think you can land the plane if, you know, both pilots were incapacitated? And you know what? If there wasn't anyone else on board, like anyone that was willing to do it, like there was no former Navy pilot or former like pilot or someone who actually had their like private pilot license, and they just needed someone, I would volunteer. I would feel confident. Like if we had no other choice, guys, someone's gonna have to do it. And you know what? I'm gonna take my 1,500 hours of flight sim experience of just flight sim 2020, let alone my other probably few thousand, if not more, hours of FSX in the over decade I played that. I'm gonna rely on at least that if it comes down to life or death, and we have like no one. So we got our APU starter switch on here. And also, guys, I'm not saying either like anything would be easy, but when it comes to, let's say, like getting the aircraft down to like the approach path and like the glide slope and stuff, like I would say I feel fairly confident with that. When it comes to a landing, nah, I'm sorry guys, we're gonna be like that DHL flight in Puerto Rico a couple weeks ago. We got our APU bleed switch on. But you know what? That plane did not go up in flames. I would say that was a very, like, if there was passengers, very survivable, but like, wow. Craziness. think no one was part of that. Okay, so we got our everything APU switches started up. Our seatbelt switches are turned on. We got our VP. I'm just going over everything here, guys, just to make sure we have everything set up. Because the last thing I hate to do is taking off or getting pushed back and not having everything set up. Okay. We are good. So also too, I turned off my ATC sound. I don't like the sound of the default ATC. I just turn it off. And I usually just let my flight assistant take that over, please. I don't have to wait.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Hope we got Spirit Airlines on beside us. Thanks, Carol and Hoy, for that. Looks good. I appreciate that. I
Okay,
appreciate
sir.
the
bypass
thumbs
pin
up.
is installed. All doors and hatches closed, and all ground equipment is removed.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for
You
push start.
are,
Please
you
release
actually are
parking
my
brake.
second live chat. Wow, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Please release parking brake.
And I appreciate the
Parking brakes are
very
released.
positive comment for the
Commencing pushback.
for
You
the
can
first
start the engines
comment.
in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
You are welcome back to the stream anytime. So we'll set our no, we already did that. Oh, look at this. We are pushing back at the same time. Wow. I've never actually had this happen, ever. This is cool. This is actually really cool. It's a race. But yeah, that's AIG traffic, so he's gonna stop there. Heart to you, Carolyn Hoy. Thank you for all the love. Oh no, okay. What's he doing? What's he doing? Okay, so we're actually gonna turn our beacon lights on here. Set our ignition to, or starter to ignition, and start engine number 2.
Welcome aboard Air Canada.
Bienvenue à bord d'Air Canada.
For your safety and comfort, we ask that you
Okay,
pay
pushback
attention to this
completed.
short
Please
video.
set your parking
So
brake.
join us as we explore all that Canada has to offer.
Pour votre sécurité et votre confort,
Parking
soyez
brake set.
attentifs à cette courte
So
vidéo.
once we get the
Joignez-vous à
visual,
nous pour explorer tout ce que le
Okay,
Canada
sir.
peut
we can't
Clear to
actually
disconnect.
see.
Pin has been removed.
But
See you
usually-
at the side. Have a good flight.
Please
There will be
place
a guy
baggage
here
in the
that will
overhead
hold a
bin
flag.
or under
Thank
the
you
seat in
and
front of you.
Flag.
Veuillez ranger vos
That's when
bagages
you
dans le
know that
coffre
you've had
supérieur
both good
ou sous le
engine
siège de
start,
confort.
everything is
In
clear.
preparation for
You'll
takeoff,
start walking
make
away,
sure you're
and
comfortably
you'll be
seated, with
you'll
your
be
seat
clear to
back
go.
upright and tray table stowed.
Usually turn
En
off your
prévision du décollage,
cockpit lights at
prenez
that
soin
point
de
in
vous
time.
asseoir confortablement, de redresser le dossier de votre siège et de ranger la tablette.
Lots of traffic.
You must
Almost
wear
looks
your
like flying
seatbelt when the
information.
seatbelt sign has been turned on. and we suggest wearing it even when the sign is turned off.
Vous devez porter votre ceinture lorsque la consigne des ceintures est allumée, mais nous vous suggérons de la porter même lorsque la consigne est éteinte.
Fasten your seatbelt by adjusting it around your hips. To release it, lift the upper portion or press on the release button.
Attachez votre ceinture et ajustez-la autour de vos hanches. Pour la détacher, soulevez la partie supérieure de la boucle ou appuyez sur le bouton de dégagement.
Seatbelt and no smoking signs are located throughout the aircraft. Please comply with them at all times.
Les consignes de ceinture et d'interdiction de fumer se trouvent à différents endroits dans l'avion. Veuillez les respecter en tout temps.
It is prohibited to smoke, to use electronic cigarettes, or to consume your own alcohol on board.
Il est interdit de fumer, d'utiliser des cigarettes électroniques ou de consommer son propre alcool à bord.
Your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival.
Les appareils électroniques portatifs doivent être réglés en mode avion jusqu'à l'annonce à ce sujet à l'arrivée.
If your electronic device falls in your seat, do not move your seat or try to retrieve it yourself, as it poses a fire hazard. Notify your cabin crew immediately to ensure the safe retrieval of the device.
Si votre appareil électronique glisse dans votre siège, ne bougez pas votre siège et n'essayez pas de le récupérer au risque d'un incendie. Avertissez immédiatement le personnel de cabine afin qu'il le récupère en toute sécurité.
Should an emergency happen, place your feet flat on the floor and top of head against the seat in front of you. Or rest your head and chest into your lap. Grasp your ankles or wrap your arms under your legs.
En cas d'urgence, posez vos pieds à plat au sol et appuyez le dessus de votre tête contre le siège devant vous. Ou bien, penchez-vous et appuyez votre tête et votre poitrine sur vos cuisses. Ensuite, saisissez vos chevilles ou passez vos bras sous vos jambes.
The illustrated card in your seat pocket or magazine rack explains the many safety features of this aircraft. Please review it sometime before takeoff.
La carte illustrée placée dans la pochette ou le porte-revue près de vous explique les nombreuses mesures de sécurité propres à cet avion. Veuillez en prendre connaissance avant le décollage.
If there is a need to evacuate the aircraft, leave your baggage behind and follow the seat-mounted lighting to the nearest emergency exit.
S'il faut évacuer l'avion, laissez vos bagages à bord et suivez l'éclairage sur les sièges jusqu'à l'issue la plus proche.
There are 4 exits located on each side of the aircraft. All of these are indicated by a green exit sign. Please locate the one nearest you.
Il y a 4 issues de secours de chaque côté de l'avion. Chacune d'elles est indiquée par une enseigne verte. Veuillez repérer celle qui est la plus près de vous.
If the cabin pressure changes, an oxygen mask or a tab will drop from the panel above you. Remain seated. Pull the mask or the tab to bring the mask towards you. Use the support strap to hold the mask over your mouth and nose and breathe normally. Always secure your own mask before assisting another person.
Si la pression de la cabine change, un masque à oxygène ou une languette tombera du panneau au-dessus de vous. Restez assis, tirez le masque ou la languette pour amener le masque vers vous. Utilisez la bande élastique pour maintenir le masque sur votre nez et votre bouche et respirez normalement. Mettez toujours votre masque avant d'aider quelqu'un.
If there is an emergency landing on water, reach for the pouch under the seat or beside your leg rest. Remove the elastic band if required.
En cas d'amérissage d'urgence, prenez la pochette de gilet de sauvetage sous le siège ou près du repose-jambes. Retirez la bande élastique au besoin.
Pull out the life vest from the pouch. Slip it on, fasten the waist clip, and tighten the belt. Pulling the tab will inflate the life vest. You can also inflate it by blowing into the tube. The life vest should only be inflated as you leave the aircraft.
Portez le gilet de la pochette et enfilez-le. Attachez la boucle de taille et ajustez la ceinture. Pour le gonfler, tirez la languette ou encore soufflez dans le tube. Ne gonflez votre gilet qu'au moment de quitter l'avion.
If you need any assistance or have any concerns, please let one of us know.
Si vous avez une inquiétude ou besoin d'aide, adressez-vous à l'un de nous.
Thank you for choosing to fly with Air Canada.
Merci d'avoir choisi Air Canada.
Like 4 FPS. Like, not even joking. So, I don't know if that was something on my end that I had in my OBS settings turned wrong. But, you know, we'll try it again, because everywhere else that I have flown seems to be no issue at all. And if you guys have watched my last 3 streams, the one last night from KLAX to Portland, and my Piro fly around, and what was the other one? The St. Bart's landings. It's just a circuit go around. I'll turn our runway lights on here, and our strobe lights. What's there? There's not really. We'll turn our cabin lights off here. Our cockpit lights. Turn our runway lights off. Our strobe lights to auto. Oh, and I don't have our taxi lights on, do I? Oh, yes, I do. So, yeah, we're just gonna make our way out here to 10 right. We're taking off a little bit earlier, guys, than we did last night, so definitely it's gonna be dark in Winnipeg, but it might be really snowy. I'm not sure if they had the snow actually in the sim at this point in time, because I know they've kind of switched it over to spring. I'm not sure how the season's going this. Just like, I know right now if we got like a little bit of snow where it was coating the ground, like a few inches, maybe even a foot of snow, it wouldn't be in the set. Like, so I'm not sure how exactly, if it has to be over a certain period of time where it will update, or if they just kind of go by like the season, right? So in those winter months, they put like, you know, snow on the ground, or I don't know. If you guys have any comments on that, help me out on that. That would be awesome. I'm not sure. Not really too sure at all. But we're gonna taxi up here to runway 10 right, and we're just gonna hold short. Try our first stops this time here. So hoping everything is smooth and looking good on your end. Going to Carolyn, things look good. Guys, Carolyn is my cousin. So, I had her come on to test the stream out, just to see if things were looking good. Yeah. Love you, darling, and thank you for tuning in and checking out the stream, making sure things look good. We're gonna hold short, runway 10 right here. We're gonna set our park and brake. And my apology, guys, but I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back. So we are holding short, runway 10 right. So we are clear for takeoff. So we'll turn off our parking brake here. So we did have a little bit of weather in Calgary and some late depart or a late arrival. So it was delaying our too much air traffic in the airspace. So we had to delay our departure a little bit here. But we are now clear. I'm expecting a lot of snow in Calgary right now, guys. Or in Winnipeg. Turn our runway lights on, our strobe on. We'll notify our cabin crew. And line up center with runway 10 right here. We'll wait for this live player to get the heck out of the way. She's just ripping around. We'll set our nose light or takeoff. We'll do our takeoff config again. We're all green. We're good to go. Set nose 5 degrees down and throttle 50 degrees or 50%. And we have tape down. And we have flex power. We got 100 knots. Release 5 degrees. We got V1. We got rotate. 2. Positive brake, gear up. So we're just going to fly our manual heading at this point in time. Yeah, the Portland's just absolutely gorgeous. Do our GoPro view. Our prime power here shortly. So I just want to check our flight plan here. I'm going to delete the manual, so we're going to do our climb power. Let's delete or clear our
2,500.
Sure on arrival. We're going to clear our manual.
Traffic. Descend. Descend.
So, yep. Oh, whoa. Okay. Whoa! Wow! Okay. Unbelievable, guys. That was, I think, the closest mid-air collision I think I've ever had, ever in this set. Not even joking. Holy crap. Holy Jesus. That's how fast it happens, guys. Look at this. Go to... Fast stuff. So we're going to go direct our Kilo Sierra 12 Kilo waypoint. level out just a little bit here, just so we get our flaps up. We know how to flap. We got our flaps up here. Flaps up. And we're just going to target about 120 knots, 125 knots at this point in time. Set our autopilot. We're going to manually do our heading at this point in time until we line up. We're going to do our open climb to 18,000, but we're going to set our cruising altitude before that. Just look at this. That's beautiful. I don't think that's the first time. It's like FSF in decades. We've got this. I think I'll be okay with playing this for decades. So we get our FSX or MSF
Traffic. Traffic.
2032 or 2030, whatever comes that way.
Maintain vertical speed. Maintain.
Yeah, we'll maintain. Just a lot of traffic. Holy crap. Okay, wouldn't we want to continue climbing though, because
Level off.
he's below us.
Level off.
This is nice.
Clear of conflict.
So that's what I was saying last night, is imagine having live players, or sorry, all players and live traffic all on at the same time. Like, we already have this much traffic with taking off from busy airspace, from like LAX, Portland, New York, Atlanta, Miami. Could you imagine having all that, all players and live traffic? Holy, the one thing with live players, they seem to all gravitate towards the same runway. So, oh shoot, okay, so we're above 10,000 feet. We're gonna do our managed speed to let it take over. Let's just turn our lights off. We should turn on one extra. But everyone gravitates towards one runway. Especially, you'll see it at KLAX. We go, and everyone is taking off from 25 left. Or 25 right. For some reason, everyone gravitates to 25 right. So, if you really want to try to either take off on a runway where there's no traffic taking off, you go 24 left, 24 right, or you go 25 left, because you get very little traffic on those other three runways if you do on 25 left or right. Everyone is on those, or is on that one runway. So we're gonna do an open climb here because our autopilot just keeps giving us managed vertical descent or climb. We're going to be climbing to cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. So cool, like how you can see in this day, like the ground go from grass to snow, and the river go from water. Like, I don't know. know how realistic that is. Because so unless that like actually happens because of the atmosphere, it'd be very interesting to actually like how this thing, because yeah, I don't know. It just seems like who would want to live here if you could live right over here at our expense? Summer over here. Still winter. We do have a patch like that here in Peterborough. If you head south on the 115 towards Newcastle and like the greater Toronto area, if you hit the 135 exit to Lindsay on the 115, it's a bend. So you come downhill and around this bend, and at this bend it will go from snow to grass. So from that point on north Peterborough and like north etc., you get snow. Anything south is grass. Because you get the Lake Ontario, you get the lake effect from Lake Ontario. So they get the tiny bit of warmer weather, like obviously when it's like crazy cold or like when there's a crazy blizzard blowing through, like it's not gonna stop anything. Like they still get snow. But when it comes to like de-thawing, everything seems to de-thaw super fast. And they get grass and, you know, they're cutting their grass in the beginning of April. Like, it's weird how that works. So we're gonna arm our ground spoilers here. We are in the air. We don't need ground spoilers, for sure. We got some turbulence here. See that now? So if anyone's tuning in, I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from, and if you have any big plans for this weekend, if you don't celebrate Easter, I'm not sure, like, holidays and stuff, but would love to know what you guys got planned for this weekend. If you're working this weekend, then, you know, enjoy your weekend at work. If you're not working, then you know, let me know what you got planned. If you got anything big planned, if you're just chilling at home, watching movies, going for adventure. Just at home. This gaming, nothing wrong with that either. So if you're just tuning in, guys, we are in the process of climbing to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. We have taken off from Portland, Oregon, and our final destination is Winnipeg, traffic. This is a layover flight that we are continuing from last night. So if you tuned into my video from last night, which will be in the description below, the link. By the way, Sauter landing. You can tune into that. But so this is a layover. So we landed in Portland last night, and now we're doing a. Yeah, so we're finishing our flight from last night from Portland. Our layover, we're doing Portland to Winnipeg, and I believe Sunday night we'll complete our leg from Winnipeg. We're gonna attempt Toronto Pearson landing. It seems every time I come close to Toronto with the A320 at least. I did a flight from Peterborough to Toronto a couple days ago, and everything seemed to be pretty smooth for the most part. But I've attempted a couple flights out of Toronto with the stream going, which you guys don't see. I believe those because you wouldn't want to see. They were like this 4 FPS out of Toronto, and I did a New York to Toronto with the stream going, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I should have left it on, but by the time I hit about the 7,000 foot mark on our approach in the Pearson, it went to about 7 or 8 FPS, I would say, and it just got worse closer and closer we got into Pearson. So I ended up just deleting that stream because, again, if you're gonna tune in for an hour and a half stream, guys, I'm not gonna make you sit watch an hour and a half stream if you tune in for the entire length of it for 8 FPS approach in Toronto. I would never ever do that to you guys. It's not even worth watching the time, taking time out of your life to even skip ahead to watch the approach, because I know a lot of people watch the takeoff and the landings. If you're like, oh, you know, this guy did a stream from JFK to Toronto, I'm going to watch the takeoff and his landing, and you took your time, the 2 minutes out of your day to watch. Okay, the takeoff, it was smooth, it was good. The landing on your side, not worth it. My side, butter. Like, it was smooth. Like, 30 FPS, over 30 FPS. For you guys, 8. So, again, I took that down for you guys. The one last night was not like that. It was good. I think I figured out my settings here, and I think we're Gucci for that. So we crossed flight level 30,000. We're going to turn off our seatbelt sign. And again, I can never say that too much. I love this sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now move around the cabin. However, we always recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated.
So we also set our QNH to standard pressure, 29902. We should do that 18,000 feet, but I completely, again, forgot. been very distracted, so I'm not a pilot. So I just said that now. Everything else is, oh, we got a runway light turned on, so that is, we'll set our show back to auto. That way we don't have to worry about it when we land. Once we land it, we'll turn off. Okay. We're gonna complete our climb up to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. We'll continue direct our waypoints here to Winnipeg. We may skip some on the way. We'll see what things look like. Actually, if I zoom out here, things look pretty straight for the time being. So what I'll do is I'll just continue our current waypoints. We don't skip any. Guys, well, we are climbing to our cruising altitude. I would love to take a moment to have a moment of silence for our friends in Ukraine. So, at this point in time, I am going to pause my mic and the desktop audio, so there will be no game audio, there will be no talking from me. We are just going to have a moment of silence for Ukraine. Thank you guys for joining me for that moment of silence for Ukraine. God bless. Incorporate that into every one of my streams. The least that I can do at this point in time. We are approaching our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet here, guys. So at this point, we'll turn on some lights. Floodlights, our dome light here. Just sit back and just relax. I'll be right back, guys. But, sorry guys, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Still trying to tune in my audio and stuff, guys, so kind of bear with me here. If you guys have any recommendations, I would greatly appreciate that. So, also, if you guys like my stream starting soon screen, also let me know. I'm debating whether or not I want to actually get the full version of Moviva. If I'm gonna get the full lifetime. But yeah, if not, I only have 3 days left of my trial, so I gotta decide soon. What? Oh no, what's going on? My bandwidth is too low for status. No way, what? No. No. I haven't. Oh, I have. I don't have a plan. What's going on? Never had this issue before with my bandwidth being too low. What? Sure what's going on there, guys, with my bandwidth. I was I don't know. I've never had that happen before. I have unlimited bandwidth, so I'm not really sure why it's maxing out. Definitely looks like for sure it has turned my photogrammetry off. I have never had this happen ever. Why is my bandwidth too high? Oh, we'll turn that back on. It's gonna take a long time. It probably is gonna crash. Oh? Guys, I have no idea what that was. I have never had a bandwidth issue. Ever. Even my first time streaming, I did a 2-hour flight from Toronto to Chicago. Actually, yeah, it was about an hour and 15 minutes total. And I didn't get a bandwidth issue. And what? No idea. But that was just a little hiccup. We seem to be good right now. We got our bandwidth back. We got I just deleted the cache. Maybe that helped. Maybe that's what I needed to do. Maybe that's why I was having such issues before. I never deleted my cache from any of my last 2 updates. Just one of those bloopers. And it doesn't look like a stream. Oh, a Wi-Fi. Joy. Let's try this again. Sorry guys. How many streams is it until it becomes like, okay, it's no longer a test? You've had your amount of streams to test things out. You get no more redemptions. You fail. So, good, things looking good. We are going. We're back up. At least I know what to do, guys, next time that happens. If that ever happens again. Hopefully it never happens again. And yeah, because that was absolutely awful. Again, it's one of those moments where I don't want to have to make you guys experience something like that, especially into an hour and 40 minutes, right? You watch an hour and 40 minutes and bandwidth cut out, stream crashes, and I am not saying anyone is going to take the time to watch an hour and 40 minutes stream. And if you do, thank you. But yeah, we're gonna continue on our path here. We'll check to see how far we are from our top of descent. We're still 757 nautical miles away. We got a little bit of a flight ahead of us here, guys. So we'll just we'll cruise at our with our window view here. We'll just chill. Anyone tuning in, I want to welcome you to the stream. Would love to know where you're tuning in from, and you got any big plans for this weekend? We're completing our layover flight from Los Angeles to Winnipeg. We landed in Portland last night. We found a hotel. We slept overnight. The hot tub at the hotel was superb. It had RGB lighting inside the hot tub, so it just made it that much better. And we are now continuing our flight from Portland to Winnipeg. And Sunday night we'll do our Winnipeg to Toronto. We'll see how the Toronto goes. I seem to have issues when approaching Toronto. My FPS drops to like 6, 7. Everything will be going very smoothly, and on my side things will continue to stay smooth. But on your side things go very downhill. So if you guys watch my last 2 streams, it did happen on the landings into Toronto and Vancouver. They weren't crazy, just a pause to minimal decision height. But then it smoothed back out again, so like, it wasn't that bad. I left those 2 videos on because they were fine. It wasn't worth deleting an entire stream for maybe a second and a half of lag. But I did a couple after that into Toronto and out of Toronto, and they were really bad. So I'm not really sure exactly what was going on. But we'll see how things go. My Peterborough to Toronto, Billy Bishop, it was smooth the entire way. There was no hiccups. So I don't know if it's my Fly Tampa Pearson add-on that I have, because it's only ever happened when I've like had the airport in sight on stream. Because when I was doing my Peterborough to Billy Bishop, I never actually saw Pearson, so it didn't have to render in. So I'm thinking once I have sight of the airport and it renders in, it's causing some sort of memory leak. But we'll take our chances tomorrow night, guys, or Sunday night, guys, from Winnipeg to Toronto. It's a little bit of a shorter flight. It's like a New York to Toronto, and if stuff goes to poop in Toronto, I will know it's my Toronto Pearson add-on or something Toronto related, because my KLAX departure last night was flawless. My Portland landing last night, flawless. Everything so far tonight has been flawless, and my last 2 streams previous to the one last night, my St. Bart's landing and takeoff circuit, smooth, and my Peter Rose and Billy Bishop, smooth. So we'll just wait and see how things go. Also, if you're tuning in and you're wondering what this guy is, this is my Jeff Dunham. Everyone knows this guy. It's my Bubba J. My Bubba J. And he is unopened. I have refused to open him since I've gotten him. And I am so tempted to hear what he says, because he speaks 13 different well-known Jeff Dunham phrases, or Bubba J phrases, and yeah, I'm so tempted, but I'm not gonna do it, because you know what, I can go on YouTube and I can listen to what he says on YouTube, and there is a little bit of damage on the box. I think my cat knocked the box off something, and it put a little bit of a crimple in the box, which kind of upset me, because now it's not really a pristine looking box. But I would say he's my third co-pilot, or fourth co-pilot, because my first co-pilot is Pepper, which is my first cat you guys saw on the live stream last night. Moo, who you guys haven't seen, he was in here earlier on the stream, grabbing some kitty food. He was the one that opened the door by himself and closed it before I even touched it. And yeah, he's not a fan of showing himself on camera, so you guys probably won't see him very much. Pepper might jump up on the back of the chair here every now and then, if she's in here. But again, she would rather eat her kitty nibble than take over as first officer. And yeah, pretty much about it. Gonna continue. I'm gonna say something, but I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Miles from Weapon. It's a long flight, so if you guys want to put on a movie or something, or have a bathroom break, grab a coffee, a drink, by all means. We are not going anywhere anytime soon. We will be landing this in Winnipeg. So hopefully by the time we hit the top of the 10, I'm not like that. Because I'll be having to call some numbers and be losing my pilot's license, so I won't be streaming for you guys for quite a while. But I've almost thought I shouldn't probably be saying that. Someone's probably good for this. Could you guys not see this as some sort of therapeutic? So, I work with mental health, and I've worked with a lot of individuals and youth, adults with autism, Down syndrome, Asperger's, etc. I've always thought something like a driving simulator, a flight simulator, something where like picture of like something you can set in your living room. Like, I don't know. Hard to explain. But picture this Hot Wheels car, but bigger. Like, you can set it in your living room, and you have windows around it, and you can open the doors, you can open like the trunk, you can do different things, and you can set, you know, your child to go inside, like maybe someone who has like cognitive disabilities, as like therapeutic, like something they can interact with, right? Because coming from like a mental health background, I know how people with cognitive disabilities love that sensory, right? The sensory therapeuticness, like that touch, being able to interact with different things and play with things, right? And I always thought it'd be really cool to be able to have something where they can go into and has like, you know, seats inside, it has a trunk, it has storage where you can like put stuff in, and you can actually have screens around like maybe this plane shape contraption, it's hard to explain, in your living room or somewhere you can have this space for it. It wouldn't be very big, obviously, like child. I don't know, something hard to explain, but not very big. They go in, and you see this. Like, you turn it on, and you set a flight up for something, and it kind of does it automatically. Like, you know, like you as like the guardian setting it up can do like, okay, we'll do a Toronto to whatever. And, you know, you may not throw your loved one in there for the entire 6-hour duration. Not saying that at all. But, you know, you do, you set a flight over, you know, somewhere. And there'd be a yoke and buttons and a bunch of sensory items in there where they can, you know, they can look and see stuff out the windows. They can have that sensory of, you know, being up in the air or driving on a road, like in a car, but also having those physical sensory things as well, as like pushing buttons and moving things and having that interaction, like that physical interaction with things, where like people with cognitive disabilities like really enjoy it and really learn from, right? I don't know, maybe I just went on a little bit of a too much of a rant there. I don't know, I've always had this like vision in mind, because we think of these you know, you have these like pedal cars, right? When you're kids, where you like use your feet. You have your car, and you have the steering wheel. You're fucking ripping down the sidewalk, right? You're just trying to go as fast as you can. And I always like thinking back now, like as a kid, there would be nothing more than I would love to be able to jump in my own like scale size GP38 like train engine in my parents' living room, where I could jump in the cab and have the screens of being in a GP38 or like in a freight train and driving a route like TSW. Like, I would sit back, I'd be playing with knobs and dials, pushing things, blaring the horn, like the bell, like we need to have people like entrepreneurs that think like kids, because I'm 27 right now, and I would still love one of those in my space right here, or even like a airplane cockpit. But like it wouldn't even be like something that would be an expensive thing, right? It would be like a plastic shaped, like, you know, semi-realistic model shaped train engine or car, plane, etc. And you can literally set it for whatever you want. So like, even if you have the plane model in your house, you can still do a car simulation on the screen. Like, you can still sit back in your simulation box thing and still have simulation of cars, like being on a highway or driving down a country road and having the music on, or like, you know, you can have your kid's favorite tune turned on, or, you know, something like that, right? Put the baby seat in the back, and for your kids, you put your kid's car seat in the back and say, hey, we're going to the zoo today. You can also jump in the driver's seat. Pretend you're driving to the zoo. I don't feel like something like that would ever get old, because as an adult, I would make this so it would be like something you can grow into. You can hook your flight simulator up to it, you can hook your truck simulator up to it. You can use this thing as a kid for just like, you know, for your parents to kind of like, oh, here's a toy for you to play with, and you go inside, you play with all the knobs and dials, and it feels like you're flying a plane or driving a car. But when you get older, then that's when you can actually, you know, hook it up to your gaming simulation. And you can actually have the full-on, like, the full-fledged experience of being in that experience. So it would be like it wouldn't just be for kids. Like, you can literally keep this thing and use it for your in-home flight simulation experience. See people with like these like cockpits in their basement, but this could be your cockpit, right? You jump in, say, I'm gonna play some Flight Simulator 2040, 2050 today, and you're sitting in your own flight simulation that you got as a child. I would think that'd be a pretty cool idea. If anyone wants to join me in on that idea, or wants to invest a few $1 million in creating that idea, my Facebook will be I'm just not that. But if you do think it's interesting, you wanna, you wanna get it together and maybe think of something. So that actually is something that I haven't done for a long time, and I think that's only something I've ever actually brought into. Actually, I did bring it into my client's mom one day, but it was a very brief thing. It was something almost about what I said earlier about like those plastic cars with your feet, but like imagine having that in your house, stationary with screens. But like, your kid needs some stimulation. It's like, oh, hey Billy, why don't you go like drive your car somewhere or something? Like Billy would be like, oh yeah, like that's a great idea, Mom. I'm gonna go take my car out for a drive. And Billy gets in his little simulation vehicle, and you turn on the screens, and it simulates what I haven't thought of is if it's like an actual real life like camera views of a real life drive, or if it would be like a simulated drive, like truck simulator or something like that, right? Where it's kind of like an animated route. But either way, I think it would be a pretty neat idea. Because I would probably send that out. I would be in it all day. I'd be like, oh, where's Tyler? Oh, did you check his Ferrari over there? Oh no. Because guys, that's the only Ferrari I'll give you. Really like this one that I make out of plastic that has screens on it. Also, my lazy inside, I'll just be like, hey honey, I'm just on a cruise right now because gas prices right now are like $4 a liter, and this is the only way I'm going to be able to go for a drive. This is my car simulator. But darling, going for a simulation drive is not getting groceries. Wait, there isn't actually. There is a service for that, isn't there? Called, honey, we deliver your groceries. What is it actually called? Oh my goodness. I know there's grocery delivery service. But anyways, yeah, I would just call it the grocery delivery service. Hey, can you deliver groceries to this address? Absolutely. And then when the other half comes up and says, well darling, you're not actually driving to go get groceries here, I'd be like, oh, don't worry. Groceries are on the way. Kill two birds with one stone. Go for a drive and get groceries at the same time and not have to go anywhere. And yes, that rant about simulation cars and stuff, way too. I absolutely agree with you. But what else is there to talk about? Ooh. 463 nautical miles from your set. And that is simulation vehicles in your living room. To the low price of $399. get the default route of the Toronto to Detroit for free, but if you want any other route, pay the low price of $50. Routes all over the world. Oh, you want to do a flight from Toronto to Miami? Oh, don't worry, we got you covered. Just pay the low price of $1,999, and you can fly wherever you want. Throw your kid inside the front seat, and he can experience the real-life journeys of flying, driving, even conducting a train anywhere in the world. Actually, you know what? That's actually really good. I should save this right now, because if anyone steals this idea, I cut it. Leaving that recording. If anyone says, oh, and it was on this date, they even tried to steal this idea of my simulation driving, or a flight in your living room for your child, or your loved one with cognitive disability, or a sensory therapeutic item. I have this patent test, guys. I'm gonna have them all on the test tomorrow. Oh my god, I was just gonna add something else. It's gonna stop. Add motion to it. Nope, we're not adding motion to it. Stationary, it doesn't move. It's gotta be cheap. It's gotta be cheap for the parents. So they can throw their kids in it and forget about them for a couple hours, you know? Their friends call, hey, where's Billy? Oh, we left him locked in the car. You left him locked where? Oh, he's just in the car locked in there. It's like, you realize it's like 100 degrees outside, right? Oh no, not in like the real car. He's in the simulation car in the living room, AC. Was doing like a mountain rally race route, like the motion simulation car in the living room is just bouncing back and forth, and he's 3 years old. It's like, what route did you set it on? Oh, it says something about a calming mountain dirt route, like a rally race, bouncing. Billy's upside down. So guys, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to tune into the stream. I I know there is currently no one in the stream, so if you are at this point in time and you're watching the stream after, thank you. We are doing a flight right now from Portland to Winnipeg. It's our continuation layover from Los Angeles to Winnipeg. We did a layover in Portland, grabbed a hotel, checked out some of the well-known joints downtown Portland with some of the flight attendants back there, and went back to the hotel room. The hot tubs were superb, had RGB lighting, and now we are just completing our flight from Portland to Winnipeg. We got 164 souls on board today. Nice. And yeah, not really sure what runway we're coming into Winnipeg yet. We haven't checked the Addons yet for Winnipeg. But what we'll do actually is we'll check the Navigraph charts for Winnipeg, because I'm not really exactly sure of the layout. So let's go to our airport info here. So I believe we're going to be coming in 3-1. Yeah, we'll come in runway 31. We'll exit 31 via the Kilo taxiway here. If we, by chance, don't make the Kilo taxiway if we're too fast, which honestly with me, guys, nothing surprises me. I'll probably have to go Papa. But if by chance Kilo doesn't work, we're going to go Alpha. We'll follow Alpha, we'll cross runway 18. And then we'll continue on Papa. Foxtrot, Whiskey, and we'll continue Apron. Probably just parking somewhere close. Whiskey here. That will be that'll be our flight for tonight. Sunday night we'll depart from our gate here. We'll make our way to Toronto. And that will be the ending of this leg from Los Angeles to Toronto. And which point next week we will start a new leg. I wanted to maybe try somewhere overseas. Would love to do maybe some European routes. Maybe even just do the EasyJet livery. You know, why not? I always do the Air Canada is kind of what I'm most used to, I guess. But there's a lot of interesting routes over in Europe that I would love to do. And, to make things a little bit more realistic, I'm not going to be doing European hops in an Air Canada livery. So, maybe we'll throw on the Lufthansa or EasyJet livery, and we'll do some Innisbrook and some London Heathrow flights. from Schiphol in Amsterdam there, where my buddy Surav is from. If you guys haven't checked him out, check him out on YouTube. He does train simulator stream. He is an amazing guy. He's a lovely individual to make conversation with, just super chill, but laid back. And he's the king of red signal running. So if you want to see someone who runs every red signal, he is definitely your man to go watch. So I would definitely highly advise you guys to go check him out on YouTube. I'll post a link to his channel down below, and yeah, I'm sure he would love to see you guys on this channel. So, time went by a little bit faster. Holy crap, we already went 200 nautical miles in that whole simulation rant I had. Yeah, a little bit more on that the pilot mentor video watching. It was funny because the two pilots, they flew for Northwest Airlines, and when Delta and Northeast Airlines combine, they become Northwest Airlines. Or sorry, it was Northwest Airlines and Delta that combined. I don't know. I'm just but anyways, they were supposed to be landing in, yeah, so it was Northwest Airlines, and the two pilots were supposed to be landing in Minneapolis, and when Delta and, I think it was Northeast, it must have been Northeast, then they became Northwest, or Delta and Northwest combined to just become Northwest combined. But anyways, the procedures for like takeoff and like who took charge of like what setting up of like the aircraft, stuff like that like changed, right? So everyone was confused. The way they bidded on their flights, they completely changed. So like how pilots like pretty much get their hours and their flights by like well, not with all airlines, but with a lot of them it's really a bidding, right? So they jump on their company like timesheet or like timeline thing, and they have like a bidding system. So it'll be like, okay, there's a flight out of here, I do this. Not sure exactly how it works, but I think it's like a monetary value, so you can kind of, not exactly how that like works when it comes to actually getting that flight. But anyways, they bid on like their flights that they want to take for that month, like based on your seniority and stuff like that. Like you kind of have more like privilege over like the bidding, right? Anyways, in the cockpit, the first officer and the captain were both on their personal devices, which for company policy, they are not allowed to actually use personal devices such as a laptop, cell phone, in the actual cabin or in the cockpit. So the first officer was showing the captain how to work this whole new like bidding system on like how to get his flight, etc. Because he'd flown for Delta for many years, so like he was used to like their bidding system. But when they merged, everything changed when it came to the bidding system. So like first officer is more used to it. He was more recently obviously trained on the bidding system, how like that stuff works. So he was showing him the captain. But anyways, they got distracted doing this whole thing, and ATC and their company were sending recurrent messages to their screen here. So what they could do from the ground, so like your company can send you a recurrent message, and what it is, it's pretty much a company message. So it would be like a message like this, right? So if I sent an Addons, we'll send that. Yeah, so we got a company message. So it would be like that. So it would be like, oh crap, okay, the company's messaging you, right? So then you go to your received messages, and they would have the message that was from blah blah blah, and like contact whoever at this frequency, blah blah blah, right? At this point in time, they realized that they had flown like an hour over their like top of the sun, and that like ATC isn't trying to contact them. Like they had like 7 or 8 messages on their company from ATC, and they made a message to cabin saying like, oh, sorry guys for the delay, like we just had some like technicalities, or I forgot what they're using, but we'll be landing shortly with the and when they land, they got to their gate. There's law enforcement and representatives from their company waiting at the gate. I couldn't even imagine literally being in that situation where like you effed up that bad. That like I'm sure on the way back to the airport when they're flying, they knew at that point they both had lost the pilot. And they knew that this was going to be the last flight they were ever going to lose. Like, as much as it's hard to say about it, it's like, it's sad, it's also like, well, it's kind of their fault. Their fault. I play flight sim, and I do these long flights here, and it is very rare that I go over my top of the time, or like over the airport, and I'm not bound down by anything. Like if I want to get up and go down to earth or just leave, I can leave and play fine. I can let you guys just sit here and chill, and I have no repercussions. Like, but I have a that. But being 2 pilots in an actual physical aircraft at 36,000 feet, being distracted and missing their waypoint and landing, where like, luckily they had fuel on them. I'm like, could you imagine they also run out of fuel on the side? Like, Jesus. That would have been long. Like, yeah, planes can collide for quite a distance on, engines being out, especially like in the Minneapolis area. There's many airports they can divert to, but a lot of people are not going to see it as, oh, the engine's just went out. We can just easily divert here. We can glide. A lot of people would be screaming is terrifying. So I wouldn't blame Stu for, I don't even know what, but I'm sure for flying over your top of the tent and your destination, running out of fuel, having to type route. I honestly wouldn't even want to think about it. Would not even want to. Vram, $300, $95 a mile, nothing. Alright guys, I'll be right back. Alright guys, again I want to thank you guys for your patience, for still being with me. So I stepped away for a few moments, and we can continue our flight to Winnipeg from Portland. So again, guys, I'm not really sure if you're just tuning in or you know, you're skipping to the video and you come across my my situation earlier with the so something to do with like data consumption or something like that. It's I've never had that issue before, and I have unlimited bandwidth. There's a bandwidth consumption, and it literally turned my photogrammetry off, turned my everything live off, and put me in offline mode. And I've never had that before ever, even while streaming. On my this is only my 5th stream now, and I've never had a bandwidth consumption error ever. So I just had to turn back on my live stuff and my photogrammetry, and everything came back. So I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly what happened. But again, I have 5 internet, like 1 gig download and 750 megabytes per second upload. So I got super good internet. Should not have an issue with streaming. And never have had an issue on any of my other previous streams. And this was only an hour and 40 minutes into my stream, and I've had 3 longer streams than an hour and 40 minutes, and there was no issues with those. So again, I'm not really sure what happened, so if you guys have any explanations or input on that. I did delete my rolling cache because that was something I didn't do when I did the last world update and the world update before, I believe. I don't think I deleted any of that. But that also shouldn't have made a difference, since I've already done, well, since all my streams have been within the last world update. So even if I didn't have my rolling cache deleted from the previous world update, my last 2 streams also, or last streams also should have had a data consumption error. So again, not really sure exactly what happened, but again, we got no crashes. We're good. We're still exactly where we were. So guys, I did create a new Facebook page called T Reynolds Simulation, and the link for the Facebook is in the description below. So it's good to know that I got my live stuff going again, because we got some live traffic here going. So we got that stuff going back up again. We got the ground scenery, everything here back up. I honestly, guys, had no idea what was going on. I've never had that issue before. The only time I've ever had my live stuff turned off was when I purposely turned it off, just to like see what would happen. Like, and everything just disappears. Your airport scenery disappears, just goes to a flat apron, black to where the airport would have been. But yeah, I was not wanting my photogrammetry or live scenery to turn off at all during those flights. It surprised me when I got that message for sure. But again, learning lesson. I know, you know what, if that happens again, it's literally a 10-second text. Switch the stuff back on, and we are good to go again. A little bit of a hiccup. I hope it never happens again, but now if it does, I know what to do. I know when I had that issue actually with my data consumption, the CPU is at 100%. It's actually down at the 80s, 93. It keeps going way up. And I want to know why it's going up like that. If anyone also has any fixes on that. Holy, I don't feel like it should be jumping like this. And it only has started happening when I have my streams on. So you guys, you know what, it may be a CPU bottleneck somewhere. I have a 9400X Intel i5. And, well, if you look at that, so hovering around the 90s, goes down to high 70s, mid 80s, and the 80s. So it stays at the 80s with that on. So my GPU now is only at 74. So that means my CPU is what is bottleneck on this. Not my GPU. I should figure out what's going on with that, eh? To do some here on up, right? Stream the OBS browser. Yep, 4 OBS now. Not turning any of those off. And then we also got another OBS browser. What's that? It's just OBS browser. I feel like these OBS browsers, guys, are just literally chewing up. They just keep adding on. And I have no idea what they are. Hey, look. Got another one there. Another one there, another one here now. And we got 3 more up here. Jesus, I don't know. No idea, guys. yeah, things seem to be smooth on the stream so far. But I'm scared by the time we get to Winnipeg, my CPU memory is going to be maxed out at 100%. And I won't have a stream into Winnipeg. So, I don't know, like, it's just one of those things, I guess. So I don't want to delete any of these OBS browser pages right now, because I'm scared that it would just end one of my OBS. Like, and again, I'm not going to worry about it until there is a worry. So, you know what, right now we're still super smooth. So, you know what? If all of a sudden we become the deadly 4, 5, even 10 frames per second, guys, and I go to my task manager there and we are CPU max 100% and it's not moving, I'm gonna have to cut the stream there for a little bit, and I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. But you know what, guys? We're gonna stay a cup half full, and there is absolutely no way we're gonna have any issues. I'm sure my CPU last night coming into Portland was the exact same as it is right now, but I just never checked it. And the only reason why I'm checking it right now is because I had that stupid well, I don't even want to say the word. I feel like it's going to come up right now. But, yeah. Check here. I'm gonna actually check it. 231. Alright. We are getting pretty close to our top of the now. So, out here. Cool. Coming in this way. And we'll be doing 3-1. So we should actually, we'll do our destination now. We actually haven't put that in yet, actually, guys. We are 3-1 Yankee. Oh, actually, we did do that. We are. Oh, we actually did that. No, we're doing that. It's a very short approach, but what we'll do is I'll check my navigation graph here. Be the Bethany, Obet, or Oddbet, Lapem, Davsu, Dutru, Odke, okay. That's actually what we'll do is we can throw that stuff in here right now. I know. Oh, we do have a fun stick. Oh, okay. This in here. Oh, okay, guys. Don't mind that. Everything is in here. It didn't look like from here everything's in here, but it's because we're so zoomed out that it really looks like it's FN, the decel, and then a straight line. Okay, so we do have all the way to D-True and Object put in. Around there, we got 210 knots in straight at D-True. We gotta be at 5,500 feet at D-True, or DAP-True. And we'll just maintain that. We're coming to our approach for 3-1. We'll be coming in at Moosehead at 3,000 feet. I guess at Dutru we have to be at 3,000 feet at 200 knots. 200 knots at Moosehead. Forks 170 knots. So here at this point we have already captured our localizer. We captured us here. So we just have our beacon strength. We need to do our map. Our nav is Harmy at 170 knots, which is yeah. Another thing I don't understand is the difference between like the Zulu and the Yankee. If I look at the Zulu and the Yankee, the only thing different is this. Or okay, never mind. It's just a little bit of a different approach there. Alright, so we got 3,000. then. Definitely not flight level 380 for object, that's for sure. Go back to our Winnipeg here. Okay guys, I should probably just try to memorize this a little bit. We got 11 at 250. We got Leitman. At 6,000. And then after that, we'll just not really worry about it, since we know we have to be at 3,000 after that. So pretty much after our 6,000 foot constraint, we'll just manually control our rate of descent to get down to 3,000. Do that with our localizer and our cloud filter. So it's Lutman 6,000. Davsu will do our final 220, 550, or 5,000. Oh, sorry, no. Alright, we already got that to it. Alright. We are getting close to our top of descent radius here. We are ready for our top of descent. We're ready to begin our departure into Winnipeg. Got everything ready for our arrival. Got our constraints put in. We're currently at 165.1 nautical miles from Bethel. Starting our top of descent around the 100 to 95 miles per mile mark. It is currently 1 o'clock in the morning where I am currently, guys. I am getting exhausted. Been a long flight. Ready to hit the ground and check out the hotel that we're going to be staying at for the night. See how their hotel hot tub is. Hopefully there isn't too much snow in Winnipeg, because I feel like at this point in time, from what I've heard on the weather lately, is that they have gotten like 40 to 60 inches of snow, and not inches, 7 meters of snow, which like, ugh. Imagine 40 to 60 inches. No, what'd you do on the weekend? Well, we had like 6 pieces. Get our air tool back up here. I did turn this off when we had our what was it? Keep forgetting what it's called. Our bandwidth. Yeah, our bandwidth limit. Even though I don't have a bandwidth limit, I'm not exactly sure. We got 750 megabytes per second upload, and I'm currently streaming at 8,000 kilobytes per second, and only I myself is using the internet at this point in time. Only for this. So I don't have my bandwidth limit set to anything. I have it set to unlimited. I don't have data usage limits, unlimited data usage. Yeah, I just had a bandwidth limit reach, and my online stuff turned off, my live traffic, my photogrammetry turned off, and yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, so the only thing I had to do was turn that stuff back on, and everything has been working absolutely fantastic then, and yeah, we've had no issues. All of our live stuff is working right now. We got everything. I don't know. Not really sure yet. I doubt anyone is going to see it except me. So, I don't know why I'm bringing it up. I'm sure no one is going to take the time to watch the last, to watch the full stream. Like one of those bugs where the altitude changes and the speed shoots right up. I'm okay to have that right now then. We're going to start our descent here shortly. So at 110 knots here, we're going to turn our seatbelt sign on. We're going to turn our lights off here. I don't know if you guys are excited, but I am. I'm really excited to get this bird down on the ground. We'll turn our seatbelt sign on.
Turbulence, the captain excellent de flight at Silver Sign. For your comfort and safety, must return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Thank you. Monsieur traversez une zone de perturbation, les commandes émirées, continuez les ceintures, quand vous faites bien voir rejoindre vos fauteuils, mais attachez vos ceintures. Merci.
Hopefully, whoever's in the bathroom can finish up there shortly. Get back to their seats because we're going to be starting at 10. And my co-pilot is with me, guys. As you can see, the door opened up and closed by itself. She knows how to open up. So we got our constraint that we want to go for, 11,000 feet. Cool. Oh, it's a big turbulence. Oh, and we got snow, like I was expecting.
Upright position, so your three people. All hand luggage should be placed underneath the seat in front of you.
Yes, you got the 40 to 60 inches of snow.
On the nearby phones connected into the aircraft entertainment system, maybe one.
I don't know how much they actually got all together. They were calling for 4 use 60 centimeters.
Small electronic devices can be used for that. Thank you. Jusqu'à donc de vouloir rejoindre vos fauteuils, mais attachez vos ceintures. Laissez vos sièges ainsi que vos tablettes. Nous vous demandons également de ranger tous vos effets personnels sur les sièges devant vous et compartimentés dessus. Ainsi, mesdames et messieurs, souvent les écouteurs à boutons peuvent être utilisés pour l'atterrissage. Par la suite, nous informerons à quel moment vous pouvez utiliser votre téléphone cellulaire. Mesdames et messieurs, encore une fois, souvent les appareils électroniques portatifs de type miniature peuvent être utilisés pour l'atterrissage. Merci.
Guys, I got my co-pilot here. She's gonna take over the landing. So it's a bad landing. It's Pepper's fault, right, girl? Right? Oh, your fault. Oh, your fault. Say hi to the viewers. She go. And we're gonna manage our speed to 180 knots or 280 knots. Alright, so the next waypoint is Addons at 75 nautical miles, 76 nautical miles, and we have to be at 11,000 feet. gonna lower our rate of descent down to 1,900 feet per minute. And a little bit fast, maybe a little bit low there. Oh. I thought my other co-pilot was coming in. Oh, it's you. Alright, we're just gonna lower this just a little bit more there. We're still 65 miles out from Addons. Lower our speed down to 175 knots, or 275 knots. Guys, so we've started our approach down into Winnipeg here. We're trying to reach our first constraint of Buffin of 11,000 feet. I'm okay for around the 10,000 foot mark as well, because we have to be above 10,000 feet, or above 9,000 feet. Because within the 20 nautical mile, we'd be down to 6,000, then 555. So, just to lessen the descent rate, I might reach Buffin just a little bit lower than 11,000. But we'll see. As long as I'm above 9,000, then we are okay. Alright, we're back. We're still looking good. I do forget what our speed constraints are. We'll go back to our nav here. Check our speed constraints. I only remember the altitude constraints. So we gotta do 250 at Buffin. Nothing. 230. 220. Nothing. 30. 20. 30, 20, 10. 30, 20, 10. Okay, down to, we already got that one put in. We already got that one put in. Perfect. Alright, so we just have to put our FN1 in here. 250. And we are good. Alright. Got all of our constraints put in. We are getting close here. We're just going to continue our rate of descent right now. 17,000 feet. We are over the prairies of Canada, where they have supposedly gotten quite a bit of snow. But looking down right now, it does not look like that. But maybe I am not where the snow is yet. So we should have our Buffin waypoint pop up here on our MCD here in a second. It is there. Don't know where our waypoints went on it though. They have waypoints went on it, but now they have. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we're going to continue this rate of descent. Probably just do an open climb right now, and we'll lower our speed just down to 255 for right now. So we're just over 15 miles per mile out from Buffin. We got Calgary light pollution over there. For 11 o'clock. We are now within 15 nautical miles of our full space point of Buffin. Not sure where that is. It's 3,000 feet. It's our target. Nautical miles within Buffin, and 2,200 feet off our target. Lower speed time 250. So we have met our speed constraint so far. I do have crashes and stuff like that enabled, so yeah, if I crash, I crash, you know, it goes black screen and game over. I don't balance to go back up in the sky and try again, so, you know, the stream may just end up as a black screen. But of course, if it does end up like that, guys, I'll always put crash, black screen, or something to do with, you know, crashes, or a crash to end off the stream, you know, something like that. It's not going to be like, oh, crash, bounce up to space, or something like that. We are at our constraint of 11,000 feet. And our next constraint is 6,000 feet at 230 knots. Left on. So we'll start our descent now to 6,000. We'll go to 7,000 just to make sure we're not too low before that, because I don't want to be at 6,000 here. Descend to, or lower rate of speed to 240 knots. So as we pass below 10,000 feet, which isn't quite yet, we'll set our landing lights, our wing light, and our nose light to taxi, or takeoff. Our cabin crew has been notified of our descent. The passengers have all been notified. And we are going to go down to 6,000. We're about 6 nautical miles from Lepham. We have to be at 230 knots and at 6,000 feet. We're going to lower our speed now to 230 knots. real GoPro. Jesus. We are approaching Calgary. Yeah. I'm really liking the 95 to 100 nautical mile top of descent radius. I feel like I'm really hitting those constraints with the top of descent, which even right now I do feel like I'm still a little low, but I don't know. It always feels like you're way lower when you're sitting in the cockpit than what you actually are. If you're... I don't know. We're going to set flaps 1. We got our landing lights set. We'll turn our runway lights on so we're on final. Everything else is good. We got Winnipeg International right here. I feel like we have someone coming in right now. Can't tell if it's live traffic or not, but they're coming in a different runway than we are. Just fine. I'm going to continue with our current runway right now. Oh, yeah, I feel like that was a live flare. I'm going to stay at this altitude for right now. I know our constraint right now at altitude is 5,500 feet. But at this point in time, I'm just going to stick with our current altitude of 6,000 feet because I feel like 5,500 feet is way, well, it's not way too low, but just a little bit too low. And I believe that's our 220 knot constraint. So we will lower our speed though, which is not that much. We won't have to set flaps 2 yet. Yeah, I'm gonna say that guy who was coming in on that runway was the live player. It may very well be that runway that we're supposed to be coming in on. It's not landing. So runway 31 is the runway that we are being requested to land on. So I'm gonna say that guy was just landing on another runway. Kind of throws me off sometimes, you know. You see other people landing, you're like, oh well, should I be landing there or? But I don't like to follow Addons on this at some point, or I guess at most points. A lot of the time, you actually just stand people slamming into you head on, appearing in you on the runway. And we are going to make our descent now to 3,000 feet. Lower our speed down to 210 knots. And goes direct boosted. We should get a nice view at our left side here to make our left-hand base turn. Guys, I just want to ask you to please let me know how things are looking. If you guys are tuning in, even if you're tuning in like a month down the road, like please just honestly feel free to just leave a comment. Just say, hey man, you can improve on this by doing that. If you don't have any like constructive criticism on how I can maybe like fix something, you can say, hey, this is like too. Which, yes, I know, some things are gonna look not the greatest. I want to do my best. I want to make it look as good as I possibly can for you guys.
$2,500.
We're going to lower our speed down to 200 knots. And lower down to 190 knots. That's flop 2. Very short approach, huh? Holy. And then we'll lower our speed down to 180 knots. We're going to check our cabin crew. We're going to arm our ground spoilers. Set this to low. Set flaps to 3. And lower our speed down to 150. Gear down. And flaps full. Runway lights on. And approach on. So speed down to 135 knots. We got a major crosswind here. We got 36 knots here coming from the right. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This is gonna be awful. This is not going to be good. Yes, ice. Oh no. We got everything. We got everything coming here at once. And we've hit our glide slope, which is good. We are at good speed. We are coming in like sideways. We got Winnipeg down here below us. My goodness. my goodness, guys. We are coming in.
1,000.
If you're watching this right now, guys, we're coming in sideways. Okay, we're going to take this over manually. Rudder here to straighten it up. We're going to lower speed down to 135 knots. We are a little off our center line. But we're okay for the glide slope, guys. We are still okay. Coming back on here. We got 2 white and 2 red. We're good on our poppy lights. We are
400. 400.
We're a little bit high. We're gonna lower
300.
down to 130 knots.
300. 200.
Oh, yeah, guys, this is some wind here.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Alright, guys. We have another successful landing. Wow. Alright, we're below 60 knots. We're going to turn our reverse thrusters off here. We're going to continue our taxi down the runway here until we hit our next taxiway exit, which is going to be, I believe, this is Kilo. I think we actually made the Kilo exit. Gonna disarm our ground spoilers here. So guys, I want to welcome you to Winnipeg. That is 2 back-to-back butter landings on the stream so far. And I honestly cannot be more fired up to be able to give you guys some nice butter landings. So we're going to turn our strobes on and our runway lights on here to cross 1E. Turn those off. Now that we've landed too, we'll
Gentlemen, welcome. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your baggage stowed until the fastened seatbelt sign has been turned on. Smoking is not permitted. Mobile receiving and transmitting functions will now be. If you have a connecting flight,
it's a little bit windier than I thought it was going to be. A little bit of crosswind coming in there.
Thank you for choosing Canada.
Was up at like 36 knots at one point there. Died down a little bit closer to the ground to about 12 knots. But wow, we were coming in sideways. I'm glad it kind of cooled down a little bit. Yeah. I don't know how well it would have been going at 36 knots. I probably would have been off the runway.
Merci d'avoir choisi Canada pour votre réseau Star Alliance. Nous sommes sur vol très agréable. On va voir.
Gonna make our way here, guys, to one of these gates. We'll shut down the aircraft. We'll connect the jetway, our baggage cart, and turn off the seatbelt signs so these passengers can get off my aircraft.